Borno North Senatorial District. I hereby move that the Senate do receive and adopt the Conference Committee report on the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency NDLEA Act Amendment Bill 2024. I so move.
Senator Dixon, can you please second the motion?
Distinguished Senators, I remain Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Borno North Senatorial District. This is a conference committee report square to the Amendment Act being passed by this Senate, which is at variance with the version passed by the House of Representatives. The conference committee sat and adopted the following recommendations. Having successfully harmonized the Senate and House version of the bill, the conference committee adopted the House version, and conference committee hereby recommends as follows. Any person who is unlawfully involved in the storage, custody, movement, carriage, or concealment of dangerous drugs or controlled substances, and who, while so involved, is armed with any offensive weapon or is disguised in any way, shall be guilty of an offense under this act and liable on conviction to be sentenced to life imprisonment. I so recommend. Mr. President, distinguished senators, the conference committee adopted the House version of life imprisonment rather than the Senate version of death sentence against the backdrop of the fact that right now, Mr. President, distinguished senators, we have 52,901 people arrested for this crime between 2021 and now. 52,901. If the Senate version is adopted, that means all the 52,901 will be executed. And between same period, 9,034 were convicted for same offense. So because of that, the conference committee adopted the House version of life imprisonment, rather the death sentence version passed by the Senate. Because as it is now, even governors don't sign the warrant for execution. Don't sign the warrant for death sentence, for execution of people that were convicted for such offenses. So against this backdrop, the Senate, the conference committee adopted the life imprisonment version of the House of Representatives. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Chief Whip, for, and then it will become endless. So is it the view that the Senate adopt the conference committee's report? Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, say nay. Minority Leader. Okay, well, you are not on your seat. So, this is a very important motion, because I don't want it to. It's not legitimate. I agree with you. So the ayes have it. So thank you very much, Chief Whip, for a job well done. You've shown experience by standing for the Senate and getting to this conclusion. In fact, I know if Senator Imamboye was here, I know he would have objected, because he was in the forefront. He was at the forefront of the introduction of a death penalty. But luckily for your report, luckily for you, Senator Imamboye, and those who were objecting to life imprisonment are not here. Otherwise, it will have become a heated debate to get your report through. Thank you very much for your job well done. And on this note, I call on the leader to move on. Proceed, Mr. Leader. Distinguished Leader. You have the floor, Leader.
Mr. President, the fifth order of the day is presentation and consideration of report of Committee on Establishment and Public Service.
When the Constitution set up a bicameral legislature, it could have been the intention that whatever one chambers adopt, the other one should rubber stamp it. I have serious difficulties in endorsing a law that I have not had the opportunity to read, because I bear responsibility for anything passed into law or a bill passed by this House when I'm in the Senate, and I don't object. I think we are supposed to have the opportunity, and this bear repeating, to read every page, every clause in any bill that we are going to pass. If our colleagues in the House of Representatives have enjoyed their benefit, they've gone through and they are satisfied, their satisfaction may not translate to ours. If it was intended that we should not re-examine what one chamber has done, then we don't need bicameral legislature. And the idea of circulating a document minutes before it is debated is completely offensive, particularly when we are dealing with law, not motion. Law. Under this law, anything can happen. Any one of us could find himself in conflict with the provisions of this law. I think with profound respect, what is worth doing at all is worth doing very well. I understand we need to cooperate with the House of Representatives, but that cooperation shouldn't mean that we blindly adopt. I cannot in clear conscience support something that I do not know the details when it comes to law under which certain activities will be done. I don't know the conflict between what we are doing now and the current law that we are about to amend, and how this affects the other laws setting up Nigeria Port Authority and any other agencies in that sector.
Thank you.
I think lawmaking should be taken for what it is, a serious, serious business. We should pass it because we agree. We shouldn't pass it because others have agreed and we have not had the opportunity to look at it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Colleagues, while I do not have any objection to what our former labor leader and former governor of Edo has said regarding the need, to really allow members of the Senate, to have a look at the bills, before concurring with the House of Representatives. I agree with that. And this was exemplified by the bill I presented today. It is a bill for concurrence, but this Senate, in its wisdom, so that the three committees should go through that bill. And if you go through it, from the one that will go from the House and the one that will be presented here, there is a world of difference. Because what we have done, we went so meticulously, we got the institutions to also go and look at it. We invited the Ministry of Justice to look at the legal elegance, of the legislation itself. And they did a lot of work on it before we came in, look at it again, and presented it from the House. So I agree with him that concurrence, really doesn't have to be acceptance of hook, line, and sinker, what the House of Representatives have done. So I'm at one with him. But my other concern, Mr. President, is this matter of procedure. By coming back to adopt the votes and proceedings of the earlier session that we had since morning, and then coming again to start another meeting for which really there is
it's continuation.
Yes, but is it no? You cannot continue it because the quorum that you had, you had already concluded that quorum with the production of these particular votes and proceedings. That particular session of the Senate has been concluded. Now you are starting on a new platform for which the Senate has no quorum. Therefore, I think this particular session of the concurrence of the two bills should be postponed so that we take it on another day where a quorum of the Senate is duly formed for us to look at this issue. Now, if we do so, we don't have the kind of quorum that we have to consider anything again. But if you insist that we have, it means that we are flouting some of the procedures of business, of the Senate. What we started in the morning with the production of this has been concluded. You are starting a complete new session. If you are starting a new session, you have no quorum to start that session. So I recommend, Mr. President, that we adjourn this particular sitting and then bring these issues back, next legislative day when we have a proper quorum to consider some of the issues that you have brought under the concurrence issues.
Raised by Senator Adam Oshiomole, and of course, the guidance by the former leader of the Senate. The issue of having to go through bills before they are brought to the Senate. Normally, there are supposed to be notice given in respect of every bill that is coming to the floor. For bills emanating from this chamber, normally time is given because you have the first reading, and sometimes the gazetted bill is sent to senators. So it is always expected that you engage yourself and, of course, your consultants to look through those bills, make your observation, keep them, so that by the time such bills are being brought for consideration, already you have your own position professionally put together by your consultant for your presentation. Because the time that is normally given for such consideration will not be enough for you to study that bill at that period and then make your judgment on it. It's not enough. It can never be enough. Otherwise, we cannot pass up to 10 bills, in 1 year. So the idea of presenting the first reading and, of course, providing senators with the bill itself, the gazetted bill, is for us to make our research, to make our judgment, and get that put together so that any day that such thing is being brought forward, you bring your opposition and then you canvass what you feel. So that's it. But the idea that, okay, that day you have to give it time is not going to be possible. So I think we have to understand this. Bills, in respect of bills for concurrence, I don't think we have that notice. That notice is not available to us because you might not know when such bills will be brought. So I think Secretariat will find a way out to give notice in respect of any bill that is coming in, so that one can take the pain to go and get the entire bill out. The one will be able to do, people will be able to do their, senators will be able to do their research, check out on all parts of such a bill before the concurrence is considered. In that case, nobody will complain that one has not perused through, has not been able to have possession of such a bill. That will not really be tenable. So, but the second issue raised by the former leader, I think it is tenable. No one can argue with that fact. It's a fact that cannot be wished away. So for this reason, we need to adjourn. If we cannot have more senators coming in to help to get us through this, do this concurrence. Leader, do you have what is your opinion about that?
I think I'm in the same room with you. now that it's almost very tough for us to get a quorum to be able to get this bill approved, maybe we should make it in another legislative day.
Come on for the adjournment. You want to move for the adjournment? You want to overthrow the leader?
Mr. President, let him talk now.
Notice of that. I'm not overthrowing
What
the
order
leader.
are you coming to make?
We concluded the proceeding for today. I stand to move that the Senate do adjourn till Tuesday, 26 November 2024 at 11 a.m. I so move.
Before your observation is noted, and we applaud what you are doing at the international scene. Continue the good work you are doing, representing Nigeria. Well done. For adjournment, move by the leader and seconded by Madrid. Please say aye. Those against say nay. The Senate hereby adjourn to Tuesday. What's the date? Tuesday, the 26th day of November, 2024.
My DSP, you're doing well. Level don't change. Level don't.